9 holes, real conversations, and a little bit of competition along the way. Today, I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Brent, founder of ParadiseAI. Today, we talk all things taking the leap of faith, risk, automation in sales, and what matters most when you start a business. This is ForeTalk.
Thanks, Logan.
Let's go. Oh, that made me so nervous. So one thing about your story, bro, is that you came from a finance background. So that's how we met.
Yeah, we did.
Why did you make the leap? What kind of inspired it all?
Yeah, so I think I always had a passion for sales.
Yeah.
Right. So my whole career has always been sales. I started off when I finished school selling like vet fee help. And then I was always interested in finance, always interested in about making money. But I did have a property background, right? So I studied property economics and I did a bit of the real estate side. I became like an investment sort of strategist, selling investment properties to people. But what I found was the sales cycle took a bit too long. And, at the time I was like 20, 21 years old, giving people like advice, create and build wealth through property. And I just guess I wasn't passionate about it then. And maybe I had too many self-doubt thoughts, like thinking that I wasn't capable of doing what I was doing. But at the time I was loving it. It was great. But then I moved into finance. I started off with a bit of current FX and then moved my way into a bit of stockbroking. And then I came across Stropra where I met you guys. And thankfully at the end I got you through. Yeah. We did a few trades, but finance, the reason why I love finance was just everything is controlled by finance. The economy is run by it. And I just thought if it was a good stepping stone for me to get in and learn something about like the entire economy, right? Yeah. So then, but always taking on a sales role, right? Yeah. And then I guess the transition was a bit of an eye-opening experience. I think I always wanted to work for myself and I was lost for a while, like working out what to do. And like I did enjoy my time at my previous company where we met. And I think I was on a pretty good wicket at the time, but I just wasn't feeling it. Like I wasn't feeling it anymore. And for quite a while, I was trying to work out what next. And then stumbled across the whole AI space. And now this has been about 1.5 years since then. And to be completely honest with you, like my background, as I said, it's like sales, finance, nothing to do with tech. But that didn't scare me, right? And I started to learn a bit about it and like how I can implement AI, specifically focusing on sales. And then I came across a few interesting tools because I thought like, how could I make my life better while I was working in my previous job using AI? And then I just went down the rabbit holes and found like these incredible like things that I just couldn't believe were possible, right? Like being able to communicate to thousands of people at once in a human-like conversational way where people have no idea that they're not speaking to a human being.
Like you can't
amazed by that. And then I saw there was that opportunity that I can go and learn it and, take that leap, build something for myself.
Was there a point in that whole journey where you're like, oh crap, this is what I'm really doing now?
There was. So I think I decided to bite the bullet and I made the decision a few months in and I was like, I need to go all in on this given the market was so ripe and it was fresh. And I was like, I need to grab it by the horns and take that leap. When I made the leap, luckily I do have an incredible family and incredible backing. So I knew if anything did go pear-shaped, I would have like that safety net and that support, to go back home if I needed to go back home. But I think I was never really too scared. I was like, this is the time. I'm like 29, got savings. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I don't have any commitments. And I was like, this is the time I'm going to just give it my all and go for it. But it does get lonely sometimes. And then you do have a lot of that self-doubt on some days. Like it just comes and goes in waves.
We don't have anyone behind us. Everything's wet. This is going to be the funnest episode of ForeTalk.
Yes. Sit.
This is tough conditions right here, bro. Oh, go in. Oh, if it wasn't wet, that would have gone in.
There it is.
You gave us the background of where you started, but what made you start ParadiseAI?
So, like I said before, I had always kind of dreamed of working for myself. And the reason being was what I saw was that you're not going to, you can make a lot of money working for someone, but the guys that are really, and it sounds money motivated, but it is a big driver for me. And what I saw was that if you really want to be financially free and do what you want when you want to, you're going to have to take on a lot more risk to do that. And one of the riskiest things to do is to go out on your own and run and build your own business. And I guess that was the main driver for wanting to go out and do it. And then the ambition came. I'd been sitting on it for a long time, and I didn't know what to do. And then I mentioned I came across like the whole AI stuff. Being in sales, I saw that there was like this particular opportunity that resonated well with myself. And then I started to learn it and implement it in my business, and then learned how to build the infrastructure around it. And then I saw a huge opportunity.
So what was the opportunity?
The opportunity was to really help businesses recover a lot of lost opportunities that they have sitting within their existing like CRM system, right? Or lead, right? I've seen a lot of businesses over time, and humans really like neglect, not on purpose, follow-up.
Yes.
Follow-up is something that we all try to do. We've got the right systems supposedly that can help us. Like, you know, a CRM system like HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive. But still we forget to follow up sometimes, right? And not only is there a follow-up issue, like over time, people don't engage their old customers as frequently enough. Like, and the way businesses typically would do that is through mass email marketing, right? Like an EDM, a weekly newsletter, or they have salespeople that will make cold calls or warm calls because
correct. That's right.
But I saw there was a gap, and I saw there was another opportunity where you can reach out to your customers in a human-like conversational way through SMS. And do that at scale. And the opportunity I saw was like, how can you recover lost opportunities without having to put a lot of the manual labor into it, and to do it at scale?
Yeah. So was there a point in that whole opportunity that you found that you realized it was more, or there was more than just automation?
100%. So I try, and when I talk about it, it's not like you don't want to focus on the product, right? Because when you start talking about AI and automation, some people like love it or they get scared by it, right? But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is enable business to be like superhuman, right? Especially when it comes to sales. So the product side, it's like having an assistant that can help you become the better person that you want to become in the business, right? So the same goes with what we build here. It's empowering salespeople. We're not trying to eliminate it. I mean, okay, there is probably some essence where we do eliminate some human aspect, like because we are effectively doing appointment setting. But a lot of people may go and hire people, you know, offshore, some domestically. And I guess in some aspect, maybe we do remove that aspect or those jobs. But in saying that, they can be used concurrently with one another. You know, some instances it's a bit more complex and you may need that human element, but we're not trying to remove that human element.
Sounds like businesses don't necessarily have a lead generation problem. They have a follow-up problem.
Well, yes, it depends. So some businesses do have a lead problem and they're always out looking for new business. How do people get business, right? Referrals, paid ads, and then I guess like any sort of marketing that a business may do in social media content, right? And then word of mouth. So leads have to be flowing through the business, and you have to be active. And like I encourage you to keep marketing and putting out content, doing all of that. But most of the time, businesses neglect the leads that they get coming through. So you may get a referral, they may not be the right fit, but then over time, like people forget to follow up. And that's where businesses are losing huge amount of deals.
And that's where you're helping them out with.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where we help them out. You know, and maybe you see it today, right? But I've noticed as us humans progress, we always like have so many things going on, and we tend to forget to do things properly, right? And being in sales for over a decade now, I struggle with it. I know other businesses struggled with it. I think I'm somewhere there. Was like consistent follow-up. Right. And over the years, like I know this because I've worked in many different companies, businesses build up a big database of leads, right? And over time they neglect and forget about it. Some businesses have an entire sales squad that just is out there ringing the phones all day, and that's all they do, right? Other businesses are like just doing email marketing, and some businesses do nothing, right? But they're only limited to the channels that they use, emails and typically phone. Then I came across the whole AI stuff, and I saw businesses were implementing AI and communicating to their audience in a human-like conversational way, personalized outreach through SMS. And to me, that just opened up so many more doors, because like I saw that there was an untapped communication channel. Businesses use SMS, but it may be for like an automated, like, 50% discount, or like come join this webinar, whatever it may be. But no one was effectively using it in a way where they could actually engage and coerce with people in a two-way conversation. And that was like the light bulb moment. And on top of that, like you see that there is just so much potential sitting within one's database. Everyone is just focused on new business and new leads and investing all this money into it. And they should keep doing that. But they neglect and then forget about the simple follow-up that they need to do to the leads that they already.
When was that moment when you realized that, hold on, this is way more than just automation?
I think when I realized that it can actually communicate and it wasn't about automation anymore. It was about enhancing one's ability to deliver the product and service that they need for their clients in the best possible way, because they can focus all their time and energy on either, in our case, servicing clients, but closing more deals. And the limiting deterrent to closing more deals is following up and making the calls and like having to qualify people. You know, you have a lead come through your funnel and you've got to communicate and reach out to them, but they may not answer. And then you got to keep following up. Now, maybe after the fourth time they answer and they just don't qualify. So you've just wasted all this time.
Yes.
So for me, like the light bulb moment was how like one could actually become an unbelievable operator without having to do the thing that most salespeople hate, which is like doing that like initial outreach and the follow-up. And,
So it seems like businesses don't necessarily have a lead generation problem. The real crux of it comes down to being a follow-up problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like not only that, like leads fall through the cracks, right? Yes. So when you do have leads coming through the funnel, some businesses completely like miss them because they don't follow up correctly, or like they may get a lead come through. And I know so many businesses that rely so heavily on marketing and leads, and if they don't get in contact with the person after multiple touch points, after like 7 days, they just put them into the dead list pipeline, which I love, right?
Or the opposite end, which you were saying, is that you spend so much time on it, it ends up going nowhere.
Yeah, and you spend so much money on it too. Correct. And it's just, so you've got free revenue and free opportunity. So if you can, like, this is what I saw, like there's the infrastructure built primarily focused on sales and revenue to eliminate the human element of having to do that and potentially have leads falling through the crack, but have a system that's just automated and continuously following up.
So, you know, learn a little bit about what got you started in the space and why you wanted to, you know, build ParadiseAI. For you, what's been harder than expected in building the company that you have today?
Well, like I said, I went into it pretty green on the technology side of things. So that was a little bit daunting. I guess for me, I was always trying to leverage other people and find other people that I could use their expertise. And so when I initially started out, I was trying to like not partner with, but like find the right people that could help me build the best product for my clients. And I was taking more of a sales front end approach. I then quickly learned like that wasn't going to be the right play. So I had to really learn absolutely everything that I could from the technology side.
Yeah.
And that was great. But what happened because of that was that everything took a lot longer. I genuinely thought I was going to be quit and make cash, brother. But I was wrong, and I was very wrong. I was prepared for that. So that was a bit of a big, like, you know, eye-opening experience for me to realize it. And people always say it, like, things take time. Good things come to those that wait and work hard, right? Yeah, that was definitely like one of the biggest setbacks. But then like just being persistent has really helped. And now I'm slowly starting to see the fruits of my...
So I imagine trust is a huge part of the space you're in now as well, because there's a lot of skepticism around AI. How do you break through that?
Great question. Yeah, people do get a bit scared, especially when what we're helping businesses is client facing, right? So like some of the objections that I would get is we pride ourselves on building relationships with our clients, and if we're using AI to communicate to them, that can break trust for them, right, with their clients. And the way that I say it is like everything that we're doing is front of house. And that could be a good and a bad thing, right? But my argument to that is like, how can you build relationships if you're not speaking to the right people? So I think trust is a huge thing for people, and it takes a bit of time for them to really grasp it and understand it, and like to give that responsibility away to some sort of technology. But I guess the trust comes into the proof of the pudding, right? When they actually see it and they look at all the different case studies, the testimonials, and they test it themselves and they can actually see how it handles situations, they pretty much eliminate it and realize like at the end of the day, it's all about scale and like being efficient. So when they see that it actually can get them in front of the right people and they don't have to spend a lot of time having to chase and follow up with the wrong people, they can build stronger relationships, and at the end of the day they create a lot more trust with them and their clients too.
So in that case, how much of sales comes down to, do you think, in your opinion, persuasion versus timing?
Like I've been doing a lot of sales development and training, and I've been finding a lot of these insane young guys from overseas, and they're doing the high ticket sales.
Yes, yeah, I know. I see those online.
Yeah, and I've just like invested a little bit of money to be up to date with what they're doing and learning like their skills. And like sales is a complete technique. It's a skill. You're not born with it. You can be extroverted or introverted, but it's a skill at the end of the day. And it comes down to timing and a bit of persuasion, because at the end of the day, anyone who's like subscribing or inquiring has that desire or that interest to potentially buy or use your services, right? And it's about being able to discover why they were inquiring into your service. And then it comes down to being able to persuade them on their own thinking. At the end of the day, everyone wants to just push off the hard decisions, and they don't think that, they try to think of any single objection that it's not going to work for them. But I guess to answer your question, it's probably both. Like if you've got the right skill set and you can get people to see why they actually were interested in the first place, they persuade themselves. So it's not about you persuading them, it's about you being able to get them to persuade themselves. Because they deep down know why they were interested in your product in the first place or service.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good being there.
So one thing I've been thinking about is does AI replace salespeople, or does it make great salespeople even more dangerous?
Look, it can make the not great people more dangerous too, right? But the AI, specifically speaking, the stuff that we do at ParadiseAI, being sales focused, look, unfortunately, like I mentioned before, there may be some businesses that do hire offshore appointment setters, and they may not need them anymore. But it's definitely to make salespeople more dangerous. Right. And I don't know if I touched on this, and maybe this is a segue into something else, right? We spoke about how like the AI infrastructure can help businesses recover lost deals, right?
Yes, that's right.
The bigger thing is like they also leak revenue through the new leads that come through their funnel. And what's important for businesses, and the studies show it, right, that you want to be engaging any new customer within 5 minutes.
Yes, that's right.
Some people say they've done the testing and maybe 15 minutes the sweet spot, but like the statistics show, without going into it, if the longer you wait, the less likely you're going to be able to engage that customer. So the longer you take to engage them, the more likelihood you're going to not close them, right? So then it's also being able to build that infrastructure to handle those initial inquiries as soon as they come through. Pre-vet them, pre-qualify, disqualify, with the ultimate goal of, booking the right people in for meetings. So it's all about empowering them. Because now as a sales individual, they don't have to like drop everything that they're doing. Like they may be working on a deal, closing a deal, collecting documents from someone. They see a lead come through the funnel, and then they have to pretty much stop work and call them. You don't have to do that anymore.
Do you think then businesses who, without systems like this become operationally disadvantaged in the long run?
Without being biased, 100%. And the reason being, if businesses are operating at a much higher level with much less like input, like without having to do so much work, they're going to be left behind because now they can focus on other things that are actually going to drive real growth for the business.
Yeah.
So I think businesses that aren't adopting AI should, and there's so much out there, like operationally too, not doesn't have to just be sales. But I think if you're not adopting it, and I think everyone is on that page now, they will be left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a little bit more of a personal question to ask.
Yeah.
Like, what's become more important to you recently since starting the business?
Yeah, so tough question. Family's always been there, and it's always been really important. I guess mainly like family and personal health. I've always been pretty healthy, but had a bit of fun, and now I think I've become a lot more switched on. And I see that I want to be able to provide the same way my parents were able to provide for me and give me the life that I've had, which very fortunate for. But I think it just made me aware that I've got to really just be okay with the process and just be disciplined.
So with all that, what's something in your life that success didn't solve?
I guess a lot. Success defined by what though?
Success defined by 1, being good at your craft, 2, having all the money in the world, and perhaps 3, your business taking off to where you want it to be. What's something in your life that you found a solution to without chasing after the things you wanted most?
Yeah, well, look, without being pointing, my girlfriend's been an incredible addition, and she's really grounded me and one of my biggest supporters along with my family. But I think it's about, thinking of the future that we can have together, just having her around me and being there to support me, and just ground me. And I think that's been my biggest accomplishment so far. It's taken me a long time. Very grateful to have her in my life.
Yeah.
That's probably, one of the most successful things so far.
That's great to hear, brother.
Yeah. Oh! Good. Not the best swing. Well, thank you.
All right, guys, that just about wraps us up for episode 3 of ForeTalk with Brent Paradise. Mate, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We lost track of the scores, but it was a great day out there. And mate, thanks for hosting. Hopefully you get to catch up again in a few more episodes and hear about the progress.
Lovely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenny. Cheers, brother.
Let's go.